All right, let's now update our viewers on the Rafale jets and the lack of transfer of technology which has been noticed, and now that has become an issue with the CAG filing a report on this in Parliament. The Comptroller and Auditor General has red flagged that French firms Dassault Aviation and MBDA have not yet transferred the advanced technology to India, which was part of the Rafale deal. The CAG report mentioned that the two firms have so far failed to deliver 30% of their offset obligation by offering high-end technology to DRDO. The report, however, also pointed out that the discharge of obligations is spread over 7 years from the date of signing of the contract, further adding that there is no such obligation to fulfill the requirement in the first 3 years. So let me go across to Apurva to help us understand what we are talking about here in terms of the offset obligations. Apurva, the part that is significant here is that, of course, there are these relaxations given in terms of how this can be spread out over 7 years, how there is no obligation in the first 3 years. But then the question is, the jets have arrived. Where is the high-end technology? How do we explain this?
Absolutely, Afrida. What we're looking at are several concerns that has been raised by the CAG, and what is also important here is to understand that this was a report that was tabled in the Parliament on September 23rd, which talks about the 60,000 crore deal for the 36 Rafale jets, and especially the offset contract and what were the things that were supposed to happen with this contract in place. Now, among the several things that have been put in this report by the CAG in the Parliament, if we talk about the offset obligations, which constitutes a very important part of the deal between Dassault and the DRDO. It talks about the 50% offset clause in the Rafale deal, which is the important aspect here. We're also talking about revival of the Kaveri engine project, among several other things. It also talks about the stealth radar thrust vectoring for the missile technology, when we're talking about the transfer of technology, which still hasn't happened yet, according to the CAG report. It also talks about the commitment for military aerospace programs and also further commitment for the development programs. And as you pointed out, this offset period is in fact spread over 7 years. Let's also go ahead and understand why this defense offset clause is important and what it really means for the Indian defense industry. First and foremost, we're looking at this defense offset clause, which really contributes towards fostering a global competitive enterprise. And not just that, it also augments capacity that is related to defense products. It also augments the capacity which is related to defense services as well. And lastly, we're looking at this as a development for civil aerospace and also for internal security. So these are some of the very important concerns that have been now red flagged by the CAG, and this was a report that was in fact tabled in the Parliament on September 23rd.
Absolutely. Thanks for highlighting the major areas of concern with that Rafale deal and giving us an idea of where the gaps are which need to be closed immediately. Thanks for joining us.